Have you ever had the strange feeling that your cat knows exactly what you're saying, even before you finish speaking? Maybe the moment you ask, "Are you hungry?" your cat suddenly appears from another room. Or perhaps you quietly whisper their name, and their ears instantly turn toward you, even though they seem to be asleep just seconds earlier. Most people assume this is just a coincidence or that their cat is reacting to random sounds. But what if that's not the whole story? What if your cat has been paying much closer attention than you ever realized? Scientists and cat behavior experts have discovered something fascinating. Your cat may not understand every word the way another person would, but that doesn't mean your voice has no meaning. In fact, every conversation you have with your cat is teaching them something. Over time, they begin connecting your voice with emotions, routines, experiences, and trust. The real question isn't whether your cat hears you. It's how much they're actually understanding. Cats have lived alongside humans for thousands of years, and during that time they developed a unique way of communicating with us. Unlike dogs, which were selectively bred to follow commands and work closely with people, cats remained much more independent. They learned that survival wasn't about obeying humans. It was about understanding them. Because of this, cats became incredible observers. Every single day your cat watches your movements, studies your habits, listens to your voice, and notices patterns you don't even realize you're repeating. They know which footsteps belong to you, what time you usually wake up, and even which sounds mean food is coming. To your cat, your words are only one small part of a much bigger picture made up of your tone, body language, facial expressions, and daily routine. One of the most surprising scientific discoveries is that cats can recognize their own names. Researchers found that many cats respond differently when they hear their name compared to other words, even if they don't actually walk toward the person calling them. That's a very important difference. Many owners assume their cat doesn't understand because it chooses not to respond. But in reality, your cat may understand perfectly well. Cats simply make their own decisions. They think differently from dogs. Instead of automatically responding to every call, they quietly ask themselves one question: is it worth getting up? If they expect food, affection, or something enjoyable, they're much more likely to come. If not, they may stay exactly where they are while still proving they heard every single word. Your cat also learns to recognize the words that matter most. Think about how often you repeat certain phrases like dinner time, treat, come here, or let's play. Even if your cat doesn't understand the grammar behind those sentences, repeated experiences teach them that certain sounds predict something important. After hearing the same words hundreds of times, your cat begins making connections. That's why many cats suddenly become excited before you've even finished saying the word food. They're not guessing, they've learned from experience. But words are only one part of the conversation. Your tone of voice often tells your cat far more than the actual sentence itself. Think about how differently you sound when you're happy, excited, worried, stressed, or angry. Cats are incredibly sensitive to these emotional changes. They may never understand the dictionary meaning of your words, but they are excellent at recognizing the emotions hidden inside your voice. This is one reason why many cats behave differently depending on your mood. Some become extra affectionate when you're feeling sad. Others quietly sit beside you when you're stressed, almost as if they know something is wrong. They aren't reading your thoughts. They're reading your emotional signals. Your facial expressions and body language provide even more information. Before you say a single word, your cat has already noticed where you're looking, how you're moving, and what you're holding in your hands. If you reach for their favorite toy, excitement instantly appears. If you pick up the pet carrier, many cats disappear before you've even opened the door. To us, it can feel like magic. But to your cat, it's simply careful observation. They remember tiny details because those details help them predict what will happen next. This ability to predict events is one of the greatest strengths cats have. They don't need to understand every word because they're constantly putting clues together. Imagine that every evening you say, "Time for bed," before turning off the lights. After weeks or months, your cat starts recognizing that phrase as part of a familiar routine. Eventually, hearing those words alone may be enough to make them walk toward the bedroom before you do. Your voice has become a reliable signal, and your cat has quietly memorized it. Another amazing thing many owners don't realize is that cats can tell the difference between different people's voices. If several family members live in the same home, your cat often reacts differently depending on who is speaking. They quickly learn which person usually feeds them, who enjoys playing with them, and who prefers quiet cuddles. Because of this, your cat may come running when one person calls but completely ignore someone else. That doesn't mean they failed to recognize the second voice. It simply means they've learned different expectations from different people. Have you ever noticed your cat reacting when they hear your voice through a phone call or a recorded video? Some studies suggest that cats can recognize familiar human voices even when they can't see the person speaking. Of course, not every cat reacts dramatically, but many show subtle signs like moving their ears, turning their head, looking around the room, or searching for the owner they expected to see. This shows that your voice alone carries meaning, even without your physical presence. Your cat is also constantly learning your daily schedule. If breakfast usually happens at 7 every morning, your cat often starts reminding you before your alarm goes off. They aren't reading the clock. Instead, they're reading dozens of environmental clues, including the amount of daylight, household sounds, your sleeping patterns, and your own movements. Over time, your voice becomes another reliable clue. A familiar sentence spoken every morning tells your cat exactly what comes next. This is one reason experts encourage owners to talk to their cats regularly. Gentle conversations, even if your cat doesn't understand every word, help build trust. When your voice consistently predicts safety, comfort, affection, and positive experiences, your cat begins associating you with security. For rescued or nervous cats, this can make an enormous difference. Hearing the same calm, reassuring voice every day slowly teaches them that they're safe, even before they fully trust human touch. Many owners accidentally mistake independence for indifference. Because cats don't always come when called, people assume they aren't paying attention. But try quietly opening a treat bag from another room or softly saying a word your cat has learned to associate with food. Suddenly, they appear almost instantly. Their hearing is extraordinary, but their memory may be even more impressive. Once a cat connects a certain sound with something meaningful, that connection can remain strong for years. There is another fascinating detail that scientists continue to study. Cats don't communicate with humans the same way they communicate with other cats. Adult cats rarely meow at one another, yet they often meow directly at people. Over thousands of years of living with humans, cats discovered that vocalizing gets our attention. In other words, your cat has been adapting its communication specifically for you. Every chirp, trill, soft meow, or gentle purr is part of a conversation your cat has learned to have with humans. The more time you spend talking to your cat, the more opportunities they have to learn your patterns. That doesn't mean they'll suddenly understand full conversations like a person. Instead, they'll become better at understanding you as an individual. They learn your habits, your emotions, your routines, and even your personality. Over months and years, this creates a silent language that belongs only to the two of you. So, does your cat truly understand you? Not in the way another human would. They aren't translating every sentence word for word. Instead, they're doing something equally remarkable. They're combining your voice, your emotions, your habits, your body language, your facial expressions, and years of shared experiences into one complete picture. Every conversation teaches them a little more about who you are, what you might do next, and whether they can trust you. In many ways, your cat isn't just listening to your words, they're listening to everything about you. The next time your cat slowly blinks after hearing your voice, quietly walks into the room when you call their name, or curls up beside you while you're talking, remember that something much deeper may be happening. Your cat has been paying attention all along. Every word, every smile, every routine, and every gentle moment has helped build an invisible bond between the two of you. It may never sound like a human conversation, but for your cat, it's one of the deepest forms of communication they can experience. And perhaps the most incredible truth of all is this. While you've been talking to your cat every day, your cat has been listening, learning, and understanding far more than you ever imagined. If you enjoyed discovering how your cat truly listens and understands you, don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more fascinating cat facts backed by science and research.